everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and today's video is going to be talking about the use of blood in Wicca. And this is really a video response to OnePaganPriest, who had a video up answering questions that someone had left on his blog. And the two questions he addressed was, do you use bloodshed in Wicca, and do you practice magic out of selfishness? I'm going to address both of these questions. We're going to talk about bloodshed in Wicca first, and then I'll go into, do you practice magic out of selfishness? Now, in order to answer this question, I just want you to know I'm going to be looking at my outline and my notes. We need to define what Wicca is. And I think this is where a lot of discussions and debate come up when we talk about the use of bloodshed or any other controversial practice within Wicca, because many different people define Wicca in many different ways, because we don't have a set sacred text, we don't have a set definition. So it's important for you as a practitioner of Wicca or a follower of Wicca to define what that is. And for some of you, if you're coven initiated, you will have a set definition of what Wicca means within your coven. If you are solitary, this can vary in many different ways. Now, I have just a basic understanding of what I talk about when I talk about Wicca. I define Wicca as a spiritual path or a belief system or a religion or a philosophy that follows a set of tenets or beliefs. It's a way of life based on the natural cycles of the seasons and the cycles of the moon, the lunar cycles. It is also the way that I establish a personal relationship with deity or God herself. There are other different thoughts or characteristics that you might come up with which makes something Wiccan and something not. And understand that I am coming from this question as an eclectic Wiccan. So when I answer the question, do you use bloodshed or blood in Wicca, it's going to be from my perspective as an eclectic Wiccan. Within this video, OnePaganPriest talked about, his answer, I believe, was no, you don't use bloodshed in Wicca because of the harm none read, because of the read which states harm none. I have shied away from this whole topic of harm none because it's so controversial, I guess, or it's very debatable. Now, this is my perspective of what harm none means. I find that when we discuss the read, we discuss the 8-word phrase. It's not just harm none. It's, and it harm none, do as ye will. So when I look at the read, I take that full phrase. And when I look at the full phrase, to me, it's an if-then statement. So I generally interpret it as, if it harm none, then do as ye will. That is very different than harm none. And I know there are some of you sitting out there saying, how is it different? And it harm none, I interpret that as, if it does no harm, these actions, thoughts, things, if it causes no harm, then you do as you will. This speaks of what actions you should do or can do, not what you should not do. This means you are free to do any actions and think things and say things that do not harm any, that does not harm any. Do them as much as you want. Keep doing it till your death. It doesn't say don't do things that cause harm. That is covered in an individual's personal morals and ethics, which the rest of Wicca determines for you, which is very personal, can be very personal if you're a solitary practitioner. You don't find what you should do when things cause harm. The read addresses the things that do not cause harm. It's a way of living. It's a guide. It's a way of your life as a Wiccan. Do anything and as much as you want if it causes no harm. But if it causes harm, then you should look within your own moral and ethics as a Wiccan through your own faith in spirituality and relationship with God herself as to what you should do when confronted with a situation that may cause harm. The read does not say what you should do. That's my personal interpretation. So taking that into consideration, the shedding of blood within Wicca would not go against the read, because the read says if it causes harm, if it causes no harm, then do as you will. And if I see that shedding blood causes harm, then I need to look at the rest of my moral and ethics to determine what I should do in the circumstance that might shed blood. So then this brings me to the whole idea of the laws of magic, which I have found comes up frequently in a lot of my recent videos. The law of contact or contagion discusses the idea that once something is a part of something is always a part of something, which is why if I'm going to use blood, my own blood, I may use it, for example, to do a witch's bottle. I want a part of me to be part of this witch's bottle. And what greater way to maintain the binding to me through my blood? And as someone else pointed out in the comments section, women may have access to blood without harming themselves. There's a natural shedding of blood every cycle for a female that she won't have to harm herself because it's a natural occurrence, and she could use that blood, that shed blood in her practice if she is a Wiccan or a witch, but we're addressing, the question was in Wicca. So I think that a lot of the ideas with the shedding blood not being a part of Wicca is because of the way the blood is obtained. Generally, when someone sheds blood, there is a energetic vibration of fear attached with that, meaning someone on some level, whether it's a conscious or an unconscious level, may take a knife or a lancet to pierce their skin in order to obtain blood. And I feel that it is a very strong way to raise energy with the fear of shedding one's blood or shedding another's blood in Wicca, that there is a fear factor based in that. And when you're shedding the blood under that vibrational frequency of fear, that is the motive that you may want to question as to whether you want that within the spell work or within your ritual that you're doing. Do you want something shed in fear to be associated with what you're doing? If so, then I feel that that is a wonderful way to tap into that energetic magic or will. However, in the example of myself shedding my own blood in order to add it to a witch's bottle, I would not have fear attached to it. My intention in shedding that blood isn't from fear. I'm not afraid of piercing my skin. And if I am, I might want to reconsider it. But instead, I'm looking at it as a way to protect myself, which is what the witch's bottle is generally for, to protect myself. So my intention in piercing my skin is adding a part of myself into something that is going to protect me. And generally, that would not come from a place of fear. So I feel like it's the intention behind the blood shedding that should be questioned. And again, I don't feel that the read discards that, but says if you are going to shed blood, then look at the intention and look at your personal relationship with God herself and all the other parts of your Wiccan practice to determine what you should do in accordance to this desired action. So that comes into play. So, do I use bloodshed in Wicca? Yes, I do. For me, it does not go against the read. For me, it is looking at the intention of why I would shed the blood, the actions that would lead to the blood shedding, and what it is that I'm looking to change or manipulate the energies in order for it to occur. So I feel like you need to define what Wicca is, and you need to look at your own practice in order to determine whether bloodshed is used or not, and what the context is surrounding that. So then we go to the next question of, do you practice magic out of selfishness? Let's define what selfishness is. Selfishness is a focus and concern with oneself or one's own interest above the well-being of others. The total opposite of selfishness is altruism. And altruism is sacrificing for others with no expectation of any compensation or benefits. For me, Wicca is the practice of balance. So for me, there is a balance between selfishness and altruism, and I try to maintain that balance within my Wiccan practice, which means there are times someone may perceive me as being very selfish, but on other times there's going to be times where I will appear very altruistic. So the wants and needs, the difference between there, I feel like there is a difference. The difference being that a want is a focus on that which I desire, and desire equals my will. So my want taps into my will. A need is a focus on that which I do not have. It focuses on a lack in my life. I don't have a job. I need a job. I don't have money. I need money. I don't have love. I need love. These things are focused on what I don't have in my life and looking to fill that lacking. I want a new job. I want money. I want love. Does not imply that I don't already have it, but that I want it. Perhaps I want more of it. Perhaps what I have isn't enough. And perhaps I don't have it, but that's not my focus. My focus is my will and my want. So the two of them, because I am a practitioner of law of attraction, my focus is on my wants, my desire, my will, not a need. I have everything I need. I am complete in what I have, but there are things I want to make my quality of life better, to improve it. I need, like I said, I need for nothing. I am complete. And so I do practice magic. I practice Wicca with the focus of my true will, or my desire, and my need. So do I practice magic out of selfishness? Yes, I do. And some of those wants and needs may be to help others, which then takes selfishness and turns it into an altruistic desire or want. But I do maintain balance, or do my best to maintain balance. Those are my views on bloodshed, or the use of blood in Wicca, and practicing magic with selfishness as a focus. I'm interested in your thoughts, and if you have not checked OnePaganPriest's channel out on YouTube, you really should check it out. I found him when he did a video response to my reality check video, and I've been a subscriber ever since. And he has wonderful viewpoints and wonderful thoughts. He did some book recommendations. I really think you should check it out. It's a great channel, and I look forward to watching more of his videos and your thoughts, and read your comments on the bloodshed and magic. And as always, I love you. Mwah.